Now that Philip Schofield has finally come out and admitted he had an affair with a young runner on his This Morning set, there are massive questions, not only for ITV, but for other celebrities as well, about what they knew, how much they knew, and how long they knew it. Because, like I said in my previous video, there is a long line of celebrities coming out of the woodwork to put the boot into Philip Schofield. And the top of that list is Eamon Holmes, his former colleague on This Morning, who was let go along with his wife from ITV because they raised concerns. So they obviously knew something was going on. I mean, if he really was having an affair with another adult consensually, at the end of the day, it's two adults doing their thing. Unless, of course, they knew or had an inkling, a suspicion that something was going on since before the other guy was legally allowed to consent. Because if you remember when Philip Schofield came out on the sofa to Holly Willoughby as being a gay man, it was Eamon Holmes and his wife Ruth who were stood there next to him and said they would always support him. And the question for them is, at that very point, what did they know and for how long did they know it? Now, another celebrity who has come out to put the boot into Philip Schofield is GB News' Dan Wootton, and he has tweeted that, and I quote, "To clarify a couple of things on Philip Schofield, there was never a super injunction, but when I went to ITV management with the story in November 2019, they refused to launch an investigation, even though the runner was deeply unhappy. Huge questions now for Carolyn McCall." So, okay, we've established now there was never a super injunction. However, if this is the case, why the hell didn't Dan Wootton go public with what he knew? And if he knew that Philip Schofield was doing something illegal, then it was a crime, wasn't it? Again, whose business is it of what two consenting adults do in their private time? You know. And back to Eamon Holmes, he has accused 4 high members of ITV management of knowing what sort of man Philip Schofield was. And if Dan Wootton knew there was no super injunction, so would Eamon Holmes. Why didn't these people come out in public and tell the whole world what Philip Schofield was up to? But they didn't. Now, the runner in question here, and even though he hasn't been named in the press, I think it's quite obvious it is Matthew McGreevy. He is the only young lad whom everyone else is talking about that Philip Schofield had a very, very close relationship on the set of This Morning. And all the mainstream media are pressing on the fact that he met Matthew McGreevy at the theatre group when he was a teenager, when that clearly wasn't the case because he was around 10 years old at the time, and the photo doing the rounds on the internet, he doesn't look a teenager at all. He looks very, very young indeed. And it's ironic really, a golfer launched Philip Schofield's career and a golfer has effectively finished it. But I think the one celebrity everyone is waiting for them to break their silence is Holly Willoughby. What did she know? Because her and Philip Schofield were thick as thieves. They were big mates, they were good chums, they were extremely, extremely close. And if you're best buddies with someone, you know someone inside out, you know their behaviours, you know when something's wrong, you know when something's untoward or something's amiss, you know them very, very well. And she must have known or had an inkling, because if someone like Ruth and Eamon Holmes could spot something was amiss between Philip Schofield and Matthew McGreevy, then she would have definitely seen it as well. But she only fell out with him because he didn't warn her, allegedly, about the court case involving his paedophile brother. And this whole thing doesn't look good for her anyway because of her association with Philip Schofield. And celebrities have also come out and put the boot into her as well for being fake and dripping with insincerity and not a nice person in real life. A really selfish, career motivated, ambitious and cold. So I would put good money on the fact that she will also resign from This Morning simply because of the toxicity attached to her because of her friendship with him and people suspecting that because she was so friendly with him, she must have known something was going on. And though her position because of this on ITV this morning isn't tenable, I don't think it means her career as a celebrity is completely over. But I think the clock is ticking for Holly Willoughby and her time on This Morning, and we might indeed see a statement by her representatives saying that she has resigned from This Morning. So there we go. In summary, there was no super injunction. Other celebrities knew, but they said nothing until they knew for sure that Philip Schofield was finished. And that says a lot about them as well. And there we go, that's my video. Hope you like. Let me know what you think in the comments. And until the next time, have a great weekend. And Roger Trout.